Welcome. In this video, I'm going to show you or illustrate to you how to make a tape correction for measuring and for laying out. So no tape correction, 68 degrees is the standard temperature, and there's no correction. So in this case, it'd be reading 100 foot. If the tape was level and you had about 10 pounds of pull, you'd be reading 100 feet. So there's no correction. Right here, short cold tape correction. In this case, it's 5/8, so it's very cold. Probably, if you look at 68 degrees, you get about 1/8 of an inch tape correction in temperature correction per 10 degrees at 100 feet. So in this case, we're looking at about 18 degrees Fahrenheit. So here we just created, the tape has shrunk down now to about 5/8 of an inch at 100 feet. So what happens when we measure, say we're measuring the distance, we just pulled our tape on there, we know this is 100 feet, this is a baseline, right? We know it's 100 feet and we have to measure what it is. So this is what's happening. If you didn't know where this was, you'd have to do the correction. So right here, we know this is 100 feet. We know that the tape measure is reading 100 foot 5/8 of an inch. So if we want to log down, we want to measure this location, it's 100 feet. We need to deduct 5/8, and that leaves us with 100 foot to record, right? And then let's stay on the short side. So for laying out, let's say you on a short cold tape doing layout, we're going to add. So if we need to lay out 100 feet, and then we need to mark out what's the dimension that's going to be on the tape, it ends up being 100 foot 5/8. That's because we add. So when you're laying out, you add the 5/8. When you're measuring, you deduct the 5/8. Pretty substantial way to make some errors. So if you're going to do the tape correction, make sure you do it in the right direction. Otherwise, you'll end up with a double error. And then way more. But in the case if you just left it at standard, you'd have an error, but it will always be no more than that. Anyways, sometimes you have to do it, especially when you're doing control. Ideally, you want to lay out control roughly about the same temperature every day, and then you'll get pretty accurate results. You won't have to, you won't get things mixed up, but sometimes you can't. So you might start it in the morning and it's 18 degrees in the morning and 88 degrees or 108 degrees in the evening. In this case, it's still 50 degrees, 68, 118 in the evening, right? So you're in the afternoon and it's 118 and we have a 5/8 correction. So right here we go long tape measurement. We're going to add, and your long tape measuring, add, maybe that should say measuring, and then a long hot reading of 99.11 and 3/8. So we're going to the hot end. So the tape is stretched out. It's 118 degrees. We know our temperature correction is 5/8. And if we're laying it out, we're gonna add 5/8 to, right here we have 99.11 and 3/8. We're gonna add that 5/8, and then we'll know the distance here is 100 feet to that mark. When we're doing the layout, it's opposite of that. So long hot tape layout, we're gonna deduct. So long hot layout, we need to lay out 100 feet. So when it's a hot tape, we know the tape is longer, we're going to subtract that 5/8, and we'll be marking at the 99.11 and 3/8 location. And that's it. It's really simple, but it's a little hard to see in your head unless you're a natural. But for me, I remember this acronym here, because if you can remember this one, the measurement, you know that the layout's opposite, and you know that the hot day is opposite, and then this is opposite of both of those. So it's pretty easy to remember if you just remember this one. Hope that helps in your career.